Hello and welcome to segment 3. This is our assignment segment for the week. And our focus this week is really to figure out, are we really ready? I've thought I've been ready for probably 16 years. Because throughout those 16 years I've read many books, I've had many conversations, I've even been to a few seminars. And what I can tell you is that in the early days, I wasn't really ready. There's so many things that can get in our way. There's so many things that are of a higher priority to us than really doing what is going to be necessary to find our life's purpose. And when you think about really asking yourself and understanding if you're ready, it means being ready to do the work and making it a priority. And also, at the end of the day, being able to take some risks. When I first started going to school is when, for my bachelor's degree, I realized that I really wanted to figure out my purpose. Wasn't sure quite what it was, but read some books and did a few things. And at the end of the day, though, my priority was school. And that's what I focused on, and that's what I did until I completed it. Around about that same time, I wanted to figure out my career. I was getting to that age where it was time to figure out, what do I want to do with my life? During that same time, I was still reading books, still talking to people, and still thinking about how do I identify my purpose in life. But again, at the end of the day, my priority was figuring out my career and how I was going to be financially stable. So there's going to be many things that right now in your life it's just more important for you to focus on X, Y, or Z. And I get that because that's what life is all about. But in order for you to really be ready, you have to be able to make it a priority to focus on and do all the work that's necessary to identify your life's purpose. In addition, you got to be able to take some risk. Putting this blog out here is a risk for me. It is a part of my journey to do this blog. And the risk is that I'm putting myself out there. I'm putting myself out there to friends and family. I'm putting myself out there to strangers. And we know how people can be. They could be hard. They could be negative. They could just plain old not be supportive. But I feel like this is what I should be doing. And so I had to just step out here and do it and take some risks. So I think until you're really ready to make it a priority and to take a few risks, you're probably not ready. But if you are ready, I think this blog is going to really help you because you get to walk through experiences that others have had, including myself, on a journey, on a path to find our life's purpose. As I talked about in segment 2, fundamentally, you just have to believe you have a purpose. Believing it is one thing, living it is another thing. But being able to really commit to it with your whole heart, knowing that every day you need to figure it out, it's tough. It's one of the things that's probably most difficult for me is to be consistent. There'll be a good week where I'm all over my life purpose. Then the next week, I'm on to the next thing. But how important is this really? For me, the real time that I put in, for putting, forth some real work, has been in these last 8 years. Even though my journey probably goes back in my own mind, 16 years. Because I really wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to make a priority. I'm at a stage in my life where, I'm getting older. And I do feel like I have a purpose in life. And I feel like I was meant to do great things. Why not? Now it's just figuring out exactly what it is that I should be doing, and how do I live it every day. It's not easy. It might take you a couple of days, might take you a couple of months, might take you 8 years. But you got to be able to make it a priority. And that doesn't mean you got to do something every second of the day, but you can't lose focus of it. You got to think about it like you would any of those other priorities. And sometimes you got to get those other priorities out of the way. And we're going to talk about that in our segments for next week, because there's a lot of things out there that cloud your judgment. So we're going to talk about some of those things that could easily cloud your view and your judgment about determining your purpose. So your assignment is just to answer one not so simple question. Are you ready? Based on the things I've said, you got to be able to make it a priority. You got to commit to it regularly. And you got to be willing to take some risk. If you feel like you've got those two things nailed down for determining your purpose, then you're ready. So just answer yes. And then I'd also like to know why. Why do you think you're ready now over all the other times where you may have thought you were ready? So why? So 2 pieces. Are you really ready? Yes or no? And why, if you think you are. And go ahead and post that on the wall. As I mentioned before, this is a public forum. And if you're not comfortable posting directly out on the wall, just send me an email at gjsutter@me.com. And I'll post it for you anonymously. So again, I think it's important for us to share our experiences. I'm not the expert. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a doctor. My job is to share my experiences, read your stories and your experiences, and hopefully we'll learn together. So share. Even if it's just sharing with me and I post it anonymously, words are powerful. Experiences are powerful. Stories are powerful. We experience these things every day. But there's no need of going on through the rest of this blog until you can really say you are ready. So I want to end this segment with a couple of things. A little bit of insight into next week. So next week we're going to be talking about all those things that can cloud our judgment or cloud our view, cloud our focus on finding our life's purpose. We're going to talk about everything from religion to relationships, you name it. So stay tuned. I want to thank you all that have already been out to the page. We got 5 people out there that like it. I hope you take some time to read the audio. I want to thank you for your support. I'm taking a risk, but I believe that we're going to have a lot of people following this blog and a lot of people finding their life's purpose. And I just want to thank you for joining me in that effort. And lastly, I will say it's Friday evening. And for many of us, we tend to be willing to take on a new, refreshed view on the week when we get through the weekend. So enjoy the weekend. Send me some posts. Send me an email. And let's keep sharing. I'll talk to you next week. Take care.